on Fridays, we get to pick a Popcak. And we're going to get right to it today. It's Dr. Greg Popcak. And Greg, when you sent your topic in for today, I thought, boy, could there be anything more appropriate during this Lenten season than looking at broken trust, those relationships that we have where trust has been broken, how that might be repaired, but also how to look for those signs in individuals that you might find that distrust. So welcome to the program. Can't wait to have this conversation. Good morning to you, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Good morning. Thrilled to be here. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we can sometimes forget, but, really the whole point of Lent is to call us to engage in those spiritual practices that enable us to heal the damage that sin does to our relationship with God and with others. And, of course, those things that break trust between others and us, the disappointments, the lies, the betrayals, the folks don't follow through with the things that we think they should, or those little offenses, that they tend to break trust down, and sometimes we can get to a place where we don't know who to trust, whether to trust again, if it's safe to even work on it. And so the good news is there are four qualities that are the hallmarks of a trustworthy person that can let us know who we can trust in the first place, but also help us to rebuild trust when it's been damaged in some way.
Yeah, and how do you do that? That's the
All right.
thing.
Well, so
you're in the midst of that
are,
relationship,
Yeah.
It comes down to ability, integrity, benevolence, and consistency. So let's break those down. So ability it goes to the somebody's capacity for doing what they say they're going to do. I say I'm going to be there, I'm there. I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I follow through on my word. And so that's obviously really important whenever it comes to trusting somebody. The next one, integrity. So this refers to somebody who has kind of an internalized value system. And why that's important is because if I'm checking my behavior against my internal values to make sure that I don't give offense, then I'm much less likely to do things that are bothersome to other people in the first place. And if I do have a bad moment, I'm more able to be called on it, right? And more likely to self-correct. If I don't have that internalized value system, then I try to get away with whatever I can get away with. And if you call me on it, then it's, I was just joking, or, you need to get over it, or, you have too thin a skin. I look for all the excuses that I can make. So integrity has to do with how much do I have that sort of internalized sense of what good behavior ought to be, and that I'm weighing my own behavior against that. So I don't give offense in the first place, and I'm easily corrected, or I self-correct when I do. The third quality is benevolence, and that has to do with how much I'm willing to put myself out to work for your good. Right. I mean, there are a lot of people who they don't mind if you benefit also if they're doing something good for themselves. But there are fewer people who are willing to make themselves uncomfortable to take care of you, or to make sure that things are going well for you, or that you're thriving. And so benevolence has to do with that willingness to love the other person more than my comfort zone. And then finally, consistency. It's like the old saying, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Everybody can demonstrate ability, benevolence, or integrity sometimes. But can you count on the person more often than not to display those qualities? And the more you can, the more you can trust that person. Now, so that goes into whether you can trust a person in the first place, but it also goes to rebuilding trust. Because if somebody has done something that's damaged your trust, you can look at those qualities and say, what do we need to look at here? Was it an offense against ability, integrity, benevolence, consistency? What do I need to ask them to work on, or what do I need to see them develop in order to know that it's safe to restore the relationship to where it was? Or if that person is either unwilling or unable to work on those qualities, then I can set boundaries around those parts of my relationship where they haven't been able to demonstrate that ability, integrity, or benevolence, or consistency, so that I can still be in some kind of contact or some kind of relationship with them, but we can avoid the parts of that relationship that are hurtful to me and potentially even sinful for them.
Can you give an example, like a concrete example of that for our audience, Greg, that last one? Because I think that's important, but a lot of times people have a hard time conceptualizing that.
When you say of that, what do you mean specifically? Sorry.
When you're talking about creating boundaries in certain areas with this consistency.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, so a boundary basically means giving somebody a healthy way to do the thing that they're trying to do in an unhealthy way, right? So, if I'm speaking to you rudely, right, you might want to say, listen, I want to hear what you have to say, but I can't talk about it like that. Would you mind saying it again, a little gentler or a little kinder or whatever? I'm not shutting the door in your face. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, here, approach me, but do it this way. There's always a positive intention or a need behind somebody's even obnoxious or offensive behavior. All of us are trying to do something good. It's just that somewhere between our head and our mouth, things get a little twisted, right? Yeah. And so if we can sort of step back and say, hey, what were you trying to do when you did that? Or what response were you hoping to get from me when you did that? Then I can work with them to say, okay, well, here's how you could do that next time, and that would work. But don't do this, right? And that's what a boundary really is. It closes the unhealthy door, but it opens up a healthy way forward.
Could you really, if you trust someone or you're trying to build trust, would there be such a thing as continuing a relationship, but knowing in certain areas I just can't count on this person, but in other areas I can?
Sure. Well, I'll just give you one example. So we had a friend who didn't want to ever disappoint anybody, and so she had a tendency to overpromise, but then not follow through. Right.
Okay.
So this was a person she was nice to hang out with. She was great to spend an evening with. She was, a lovely person to talk to, but you really couldn't count on her to follow through if she made a promise to help you with something. So we set a boundary around that, and we're able to still have a good relationship with her.
Got it.
Those are some great points, and I love these 4 hallmarks, ability, integrity, benevolence, consistency, because they involve not only the head but the heart as well. So thank you for that, Dr. Greg. Appreciate that.
Always a pleasure, and folks can learn more at CatholicCounselors.com.
Yeah, and of course, 10 o'clock this morning, you're going to be on the air with For All to Hear nationwide and everywhere on More Than Life.
I'm looking forward to it. Talking about dealing with challenges on our show titled Into the Desert today.
Love it.
All
Dr.
right.
Greg Popcak, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
Thank you,
picking
Dr.
a Popcak today.